Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Racing Productions MC and producer. Happy Friday to everyone. Heading into our weekend, I have some special guests here with me. I have first and foremost Shalaan Powell, the creator of the Abnormal series, and I also have Jared Michael Smith, an actor who appears in the Abnormal series. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Doing
Sorry, my
good,
camera's
doing
messing
great.
up.
Well, thankfully, your background kind of kept you steady. Well, welcome, guys. It's so great to have you all here with me this evening. I'm so glad that we could make this happen. I want to begin and ask Shalaan, tell me a little bit about the Abnormals and tell me about the inspiration behind it.
So The Abnormals is a supernatural dramedy series that's set in Southern Maryland. And it focuses on a safe haven of supernatural creatures that are kind of in hiding from this dark threat. And it encompasses all these different characters who are different species of lore folk, as they're called in the series.
Mhm.
Witches, warlocks, pixies, werewolves, all that type of stuff. And the inspiration from it really came from just my love of the supernatural and fantasy as a kid growing up. Watching so many different shows and reading different book series. It was just always a genre that was really close to my heart. And being a Black gay kid, there was never much in representation from me in any of those series.
Mhm.
So me being a storyteller, director, writer, editor, and all that stuff, I just started writing several years ago and just came up with this concept of the abnormals, and here we are.
I love it. I love it. And I had assumed that it came a little bit from your childhood because as someone who grew up reading a lot and reading, a lot of fantasy and sci-fi and stuff like that as well. Now in my writing, I include those type of things, so I assume that's much. Jared, tell me about when you were offered this role, or you picked this role, or you entered this role. Tell me about that. What was it about the character? First, tell me about the character that you play, and tell me what about the character that you love.
All right, so I play the character of Elijah Crane, and Elijah Crane is actually the principal of Briarfield High, which is the local high school where all of the abnormals go to, and he's overseeing and watching over these kids who do have these abilities. Now, Elijah doesn't have any of these abilities. What he is he's a warlock and a alchemist, so he has many talismans and many charms to really conjure up his own magic, but he can't produce magic himself. And that's
Ah,
right. And that also has him in a little bit of a predicament because he's always wanted to carry this power, and he has this whole backstory that the show will really go into. But what attracted me to this character is the poise that he brings, and I guess the level of power and integrity that he also brings to everyone else in the cast, because everyone else in the cast is supposed to be portraying high school students. This
mm-hmm.
guy is actually a full-fledged adult, like around 30 years old, and in high school. And those are characters that I usually portray very well. Someone with power, integrity, and a sense of status, but also the dark side to him was
Yes.
very it was very enticing. And Shalan, he actually offered it to me through Instagram. I never met him, but
Ah.
he saw some of my previous work through social media and contacted me and said, "Hey, I have a good project. Take a look at this script and take a look at the concept." And I was like, "Sounds pretty nice. Let's
Love it,
talk
love
more.
it,
Let's
love it.
talk."
I love that. I love that. Sean, tell me a little bit about the audience for this show because it is set in high school. So what's the core audience look like?
So, it's a mix of both. High schoolers and then adults too. The cast is very much a mix of they're teenagers, but then you have older characters like Jared's character, Elijah Crane, and you also have a couple of characters in their 20s too who are really navigating through this world of the supernatural. So it's a show I feel like for everyone, anyone who loved watching magical things or just getting lost in the unknown and trying to figure out that whole mystery around all these surrounding characters. Is really for anyone from the teens to, I don't know if you want to say late 60s, whatever. Anyone who's into this genre, they can get into it. I feel like there's something for everyone and everything.
I love that. I love that. Jared, tell me something. As an actor, what's been your your favorite part of the series thus far, or your favorite scene that you've acted in? And do you know the entire story going in? Like, are you guys given the script for the entire? No. Oh, okay. So tell me about even discovering new things about your characters along the way as you continue.
Yeah, so I think as Shalaan just mentioned, like, yeah, we don't know everything about the whole story, but I would say one of my favorite scenes so far that I've shot is a scene with Georgia, who plays. Oh man, I'm forgetting her name right now. Shalaan, you gotta help me. You gotta help me because I'm forgetting her name.
Georgia Anastasia. She plays Celine. She's the little.
Yeah, she plays Celine. So that was one of my favorite scenes to shoot. And Celine and Elijah do have a bit of history with another character named Raven. And shooting that scene, it was actually, pretty intense because we're having a heated conversation and a stare down actually, and it's a little bit of fight choreography in it. So
Oh,
yeah, so that scene was definitely one of my favorite to shoot. And then also just going about the journey of this character, and just the characters in general. Just I think seeing all of these revelations play out over time and in the course of time, and seeing how these stories change and how they interact and wove through each other, I think that is one thing that drives me to keep continuing with the series and to keep seeing what Shalaan has written, what else is on the page, and you know what I mean.
yes, I
I
love
could
that. I
really,
love that. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I could really, me personally, and he may have some other, opinions, but I can see this going on as maybe an anthology series as well. So like, there
Ah,
could be a couple of seasons that's, just one-offs, and, maybe some spin-offs as well. And that's not related to the actual real timeline that we're producing. So, and again, if that's wrong, somebody correct me. But when I was introduced to the script and the concept, I was like, this has a wide range of
yeah,
stories to tell.
yeah, a lot of lore, a lot of lore. Tell me, Shalan, what when creating this series, like, what's your goal? Tell me about your goal for this series and the importance of it.
So for me, definitely, just seeing representation, seeing a predominantly Black cast and a cast of color really play in the world of supernatural and fantasy, because it's not too often that you really see our stories being told in this type of medium. There are a lot of TV shows and films that do feature us as Black people, but they're not typically in the realm of fantasy. And I feel like now there's been a lot more recent uptake in that in terms of diversity, including other characters who are of color coming into these shows and movies. And there's, of course, always been a ton of book series, but live action representation has always been a different story. So, just to have predominantly Black characters, other characters of color, just be the driving force in these narratives and not be the ones who are the side characters, or you have white characters using the backstories and histories of other characters of color as their main focal point. So it's really just is for representation. It's representation and to have fun. We as Black people, I feel like, are so tied often to the negative of being Black, and though not discrediting that whatsoever, given everything that's been going on this year for hundreds of years, if we're being honest, it's not to shoot that down whatsoever, but it's to show that we can have fun in these different worlds. We can go off and have fun at a roller skating rink, but then we're fighting demons at midnight, and then we're getting chewed out by our moms because our moms don't know we're fighting demons and all this other stuff. Like, we can just have fun in these worlds, and we're the ones setting the rules.
I love that. I love that. Hey, Jared, tell me. So, you mentioned that where Shalan reached out to you on Instagram because he had seen some of your previous work before. Tell me about some of the projects that you've worked on before and those that you might be working on coming up.
So I think there's the specific one that Shalaan saw that attracted him to me, to the role, was there was a Make-A-Wish film that I did with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It was actually written by a Wish kid. He wrote his own superhero film. It's called The Fallen. It's actually on YouTube, or if you guys go to masonsmoviewish.com or .org. I'm not sure which one, honestly, but it's masonsmoviewish.com. And you can actually see the full film. And I played the villain in that film. The villain's name was Remos, and this was a demonic character. So, he had horns, he had a black and purple cape and everything, and very demonic powers. So I was already used to playing,
I was just about to say that but you like a darker role too, huh?
Right. So I was already used to, handling, the lore and supernatural figures and, powerful characters and whatnot. So I think that's what attracted, me to this role, and him to me, being brought in. As far as the future and what's coming up, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know, because everything is uncertain right now. There's been a lot of I've seen a lot of breakdowns go out, and I've seen a lot of scripts being passed around. But me personally, I am being very, very careful about the projects that I take, the safety guidelines that are being put in place, and also, is it really worth it for my artistic journey?
Yeah.
I'm really, especially now in life, I'm really trying to make sure that whatever I take on, I'm taking on with a purpose. I'm taking it on because something really, really pulled me in. Is a good story, or it's a good character, or maybe I love the people that are working on it. I'm not just taking jobs just to be taking jobs. You know what I mean?
Great to hear. Great to hear. Shalaan, tell me, how was shooting this series, and tell me if anything changed this year in 2020, based on what has been going on, any priorities, any plans or anything with the series. How was that affected by everything that happened this year?
So it's funny. We have been in production for the Abnormals for kind of on and off for the past 3 years. And then, and that was just a matter of just different scheduling between my scheduling, the actor's scheduling. And then, 2020, once we had filmed a substantial amount in 2019, 2020, the beginning half was when we were going to finish things out. And then come summer was when, we're going to have some extra things shot, more additional episodes here and there. But then, as you know, COVID really took a toll on a lot of things, obviously. So we kind of ended up held back a bit from filming. And now what we do is we have just updated guidelines for how we do things. Certain scenes that would have taken place indoors are now all outside. All crew are to wear masks. Obviously, the actors are not, but we make sure we're ensuring our social distancing while we're filming and just making sure everyone is safe and secured while we're shooting on certain days. And with it being a magic show, as Jared said, the fight choreography is different. We can have a fight scene and their characters a field away because they just have to it doesn't have to be up in each other's spaces all the time. So it's been a challenge, and scheduling, of course, is still a major thing because it's an ensemble cast. There's 7 people in this whole cast, including the supporting characters who weave in and out. But it's been something that we've been taking on and going with as much as we can. But yeah, we're still trucking along.
I get it. I see it. Tell me, where can people watch the movie? And I want to round it out with you guys, plugging anything that you want to plug and how people can follow, keep up, support, anything like that. So go ahead, Shalaan, and then go ahead, Jared.
So you all can actually follow us on Instagram. We're going to be at a new_abnormal web series. We're also on Twitter at a new abnormal. And then you can also watch the episodes on YouTube, and they'll be at Skip Studios on YouTube. And pretty much what that is, we just have different social medias all over the place where you can see music videos, sneak peeks, and then the minisodes that we'll be dropping all throughout the fall. Typically right now, since it's Halloween, every Halloween ever since this project has started, I've been dropping new and more content, obviously, for the theme of things. But this Halloween and this fall particularly, we have so much more content than before. So now I'm just putting out episodes, additional sneak peeks, and then just a peek of what's to come for the series. So watch out for episodes, more interviews and things with the cast, things of that nature this fall.
Awesome. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, so plugging myself, if anybody wants to follow me on my journey, my social media is Jared, my guy Swain on all social media. So that's Jared, Jared, my guy, MYGUY, Swain, SWAIN on all social media. So that's Instagram, that's Twitter, And you could also go to my website, www.jaredmichaelswain.com, for any clips, any other of my past projects that are on there. My whole resume is on there, so y'all can check that out as well. I'm also on WBAL 11 live mostly every day, doing lottery numbers. I'm on TV for lottery numbers. That's my COVID gig right now. So
okay.
Right. And I'm in a nice suit doing it too. I'm looking good.
I love it. Guys, thanks so much for joining me this evening. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you guys. Hey everyone, the links are in the description. Make sure that you check out The Abnormals. Thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Definitely my pleasure. And to our viewers, thank you for watching. And I will leave you with the music video, actually, from The Abnormal. So let me end it with that. Wait, can you guys see it?
Yeah.
We saw it. I couldn't hear anything though. Oh, there you go.
Thought I could change our fate. I tried again, but this delay is more than I can take, and it got to me. When you say you love and you walk away, I will be full on if it's up to me. That's all I got. Feels so good doing me. If you take a look at the time you took and move on, but don't go too far, my love. We could try harder, baby. There's gotta be a better way. So much that we could make. And you got to me when you say your love, but you run away. What could you be on? Now you're not around, but I hope you see. Gotta be full on if it's up to me. That's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Thanks so much, guys. See you.
Thank you. You have a good one.
Bye,
God
sir.
bless.
Bye.